Hey everybody, welcome back to Trinity Dairy. Don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, check out our merch store. We'll have a link in the description for that. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Today is September 13th, 2023. We're taking a little break from the corn chopping, so it'll probably be a few days before we get some chopping videos. We finished off a bag. Got that all sealed up last night and got the bagger off. The rest of the corn we've got to chop is some of our later planted stuff, so it was a little on the greener side yet. And I had some friends of mine that wanted to rent the bagger. They had some corn ready, so they got the bagger last night. They can get theirs done. Also, the 1066, I was having some trouble. The PTO clutches started slipping a little bit. So I brought that up to the mechanic this morning. He's going to try to get that done here in the next few days. And they've got the bagger. And then once that gets all back, we can continue chopping. So one of the things I'm going to do today, I got the 1256 here. I'm going to change the hydraulic oil filter on it. The TA on the TA side, the low side, gives me a little trouble. And so I was talking to my mechanic about it, and he said, well, he said start changing the filter first, and we'll go from there and see if that improves it at all. So we're going to do that now. So I'll see if I can get some video of that. So it might be a little bit hard to see, but I've got it parked on a side hill here. The filter's down under the cab on the right hand side. You don't lose a lot of oil, even if it's on flat ground, but it helps a little bit if you've got it parked so that's downhill. And our hydraulic filter is under this cover. Some of the older, I think the 06s, they don't have this separate cover. You have to pull this whole thing off. It comes with a gasket for that, but on these and the newer ones, it's got this cover. You can just loosen these wing nuts, turn the cover, pop it off, and get at the filter from in there. So that's what we're going to do, is just go through here. There's an O-ring under here. We'll grease that up good. You just got to kind of watch so you don't roll that when you're putting the cover back on, because that can leak. But I think it's still easier to do that than trying to get all the bits of gasket off of here and get that all back on. So we'll get pliers, and oh, that one came right loose. Maybe I don't need a pliers. Put a pan under here because there will be some oil coming out of it. Nope, I'm gonna need a pliers. I grabbed a screwdriver instead, then I can use it to pry the cover off too. And I think some of these, I think the wing nuts are what they came with. I think that sometimes if these have been broken or whatever, they might just be replaced with bolts. I also took and wiped this all off real good. Got a lot of the dirt and stuff off of here. Much as I could anyway. So we got that loose. See if we can get it to turn. I'm going to have to find a place for the camera here. Then we have our relief valve and screen here. I want to make sure that's good and clean. That'll pull out of the end. We'll take that and clean it up with a little gas. And there's our filter. And then also inside there's a retainer with an O-ring on it. I'll see if I can shine in there without dropping the camera in the oil. So there's the retainer in there that the filter sits on. There is an O-ring on that too. I don't know in the past that I've ever changed that, but it does give you an O-ring for it. And I know it says in the book in the owner's manual or the operator's manual, it says to change that. So we'll see. I guess if it doesn't want to come out of there real well, maybe I'll just leave it, but if it pops out of there, we'll change it. Be careful in there too, because that's got some sharp edges on it. Oh, that came out of there okay. Alright, so we'll go and clean all this stuff up and see if we can get it back together. Alright, so I got this retainer cleaned up. I put the new O-ring on it. Like I said, it comes in the kit. This is a square one on here. The one for the cover here is a round one. So we'll see if we can pop this, and again, be very careful handling this because this is a stamped piece, so these edges are really sharp.
Then I don't know if these are or not.
It's alright, I got it.
Oh, ew. Well, these things are huge. Well, I got them just in case. I think supposed to go all the way in there. Hold it. Almost go all the way in that hole. Me and Josh need to chop it. Oh, yeah.
Alright, got that back in. It come out of there a little bit tricky because it's pretty tight fit in this hole. So you could pull this whole cover off too. It would come out of there easier, but I guess that's totally up to you. But it seemed like it come in and out of there all right. I didn't have to really force on it hard or anything. Just more pride on it with that skid screwdriver, so I didn't cut my hand. So anyway, now I'll take this pressure relief valve and get that cleaned up, clean the cover up, put the filter in, and should be good. Alright, got that cleaned up. Get some grease on this O-ring. I got the relief valve all cleaned up and just popped it into the filter. Should fit snug in the filter, and it doesn't, the filter, it doesn't matter which end, they're both the same on there. I'm going to put this in. It should sit up inside that retainer. Grab our cover. Put a little grease in there. Just got a little bit of grease on the inside, help that O-ring slide in there. push that on. Turn it in place. Tighten it back down. Get too carried away with it, but I will snug it up a little bit with this just so it don't vibrate loose. I'm gonna get too tight and break the cover, but just snug it up. Now we'll fire it up. I know it said in the book to leave it run a couple minutes before you use any hydraulics, just to let it get the air out. And then also to run your steering back and forth, run your hydraulics, everything to get any air purged out of the system. So we'll fire it up now and make sure we don't have any leaks here. Let it run for a little bit. Run a couple minutes and then we'll come back and check it out. In the meantime, we'll go see what the boys have been up to over here. So what are you guys working on?
John Deere combine.
You're building the John Deere combine, huh? So this is it, huh? So what do we got here? Not done yet?
No, we're finishing the front, now we're going to be building the back.
So what's that, the front?
That's the front, this is the
oh,
back.
this is the front over here.
Got the drive tires, part of the cab, muffler, the drive for the front wheels, and then kind of tucked in here we got our shifter. I put here the seat, some other stuff, and then we got the fan over here. Yeah, and Josh
Fan's
put the
over
fan.
there.
It's that barn thing there.
Oh, okay.
And then put the grain bin.
Oh, yeah. That's the grain hopper.
So far. And then this is where the straw goes out.
Oh.
Oh, we're still gonna get some back wheels.
How long do you think before it's in operation?
A couple minutes.
Couple minutes, huh?
Yeah.
Couple minutes? All right.
Not too long.
All right. Looks good. Carry on. All right, it's been running a couple minutes, no leaks, so we'll see if we got steering and everything else. I also have to clean my windows in here. They're kind of dusty. You can see how that wheel's a little bit jerky. Just air in the system. We'll work that air out. Back this up on more level ground. That could be part of our issue too if that hydraulic oil is sitting over to one side. Oh yeah, that was my problem. That was just operator error there. That's working. Remotes. Perfect. Well, that's all working. Now I can just check the fluid and make sure that's full. That is one thing. I'm a big fan of the old IH tractors. My one pet peeve that they have is where you fill the hydraulic oil. That has got to be the worst place to put that as far as trying to keep it clean, getting oil in there. I don't have many complaints about these tractors, but that is one of them. I also wanted to mention on this tractor, every time I have this thing running, it seems like somebody hears that clunking noise and they think it's the engine knocking, and which that's what it sounds like, especially if you're in the cab. But actually, a number of years ago, we had a gear break in here. So you got your engine, your bell housing here where your clutch is, and there was a gear back here. And it must have chipped a tooth on the gear that it drove or something, but it's coming from in there. I don't know how well the camera picks that up, but it's not an engine knock, it's just a gear noise in there, so that's where that's coming from. Hey everybody, it's the next day. Went to town today and picked up some hydraulic oil for this 1256. It's down a couple gallons, it looks like. I probably lost a gallon out of there yesterday, and I suppose it was down a little bit from before, so we'll get it topped off and then we'll take it for a spin and see if that helped out my TA slipping on the low side, or if we gotta dig a little deeper into it. But we'll get some oil dumped in here and try it out. I already got my funnel set up, so
I know what that does.
I'm gonna take a little bit more.
A little more? Oh, that's really big. Get it in?
Yep, that looks pretty good there. Yep. Alright, so we'll fire it up, take it for a little drive, see if it works. Problem I was having, like when it's cold like this, when you'd go from direct drive, pull it back to TA, tractor would stop, and it would slowly kind of pull itself into low. As it warms up, then it would pull in low, but you couldn't shift it into low, and then if it gets warmer yet, it wouldn't even pull anything in TA or low. So we're going to try this and see if that helps at all. Otherwise, that'll let us know if we need to move on to something else. so I guess we'll have to dig a little deeper, but I'm going to have the mechanic look at that, because I know really nothing about these TAs, and he works on a lot of them, so trust his opinion on that. But anyway, the filter I'm sure needed to be changed anyhow, so we got that done. We'll get it up there and have him look at it when he gets time. And anyway, not much of a video, a little bit short, but hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you in the next one.